I was really hoping to be done with Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 2, but Access Media trying to defend Naughty Dog is just too funny to pass up discussing. As most of you know, there are plenty of people that have and will enjoy The Last of Us Part 2, that will enjoy the story and the gameplay and the progression. But there will also be plenty of people who will immensely dislike it. Naughty Dog took a risk with the story that for a lot of people just won't be good enough, but I really wanted to talk about what Access Media is saying about people leaving negative reviews and even what the stars of the game are saying about them, blaming the bad reviews on trolls and even Russian bots. When it comes to Access Media, we all know at this point that these outlets have turned into narrative-driven shills, so they're only going to complain about something that doesn't follow their own narrative. If this was a game that they hated, they'd probably be sitting here telling us that anyone who gave it a good review is a troll. It just proves that Access Media is dying, and they are fighting so hard to stay relevant. So I thought that we could read through some of the funny articles that they've posted trying to defend the game and the reasons why they think it is getting review bombed. I did just want to show you all, though, the Metacritic critic rating is still sitting at a 95, but the user score is at a 3.4 based on 26,150 ratings. That is a lot of negative ratings. 10,099 negative ratings, to be exact, compared to 3,000 positive ones. So the first article that we will start off with is a Forbes article. The Last of Us Part 2 is getting predictably user score bombed on Metacritic. Well, we all should have seen this coming. I think all of us did. I think everyone that followed The Last of Us Part 2 knew that it was going to receive a lot of backlash and a lot of negative ratings because of the story, but also because of how Naughty Dog and Sony and Neil Druckmann have acted through the process of the release of the game. The Last of Us Part 2 has only been out for a few hours, and yet there's already a war raging over on Metacritic. The game is the newest battleground for user score bombing of a major release, where it has a 3.4 out of 10 score as opposed to its 9.5 out of 10 critical consensus, which puts it as one of the top reviewed games of the generation. Can I just say, why are they questioning the negative reviews? Why aren't they questioning the positive reviews at all? Why is it that we automatically give critics this pass? Like, they do not need to be looked into at all. All of their reviews have to be genuine. Why don't we have places like Forbes and these writers looking into all of the 100% reviews when obviously a lot of people that are playing the game dislike it and do not like the story and the characters and the progression and the gameplay? Why is it that it's always the people and always the consumers that are the ones that have to be looked at negatively? Here are Forbes' top 3 reasons as to why they believe the game is currently being review bombed. Number 1, the game's prominent use of LGBT characters. Number 2, the spoilers for the game that leaked out ahead of time, where context-free, many people did not like the plot turns revealed. And number 3, perhaps some who have played the initial hours and don't like the game, albeit scoring it a 0 out of 10 for clunky controls after a few hours, seems extreme. And then they go on to say, I do not recommend you read the user reviews as they are full of spoilers. Or they should have just said, don't read the user reviews because those are the only genuine reviews that you will find surrounding the game. Continuing on though, let's read the Metro.uk article, The Last of Us 2 review bombed by people who haven't even finished it yet. Many of the complaints surrounding the game, unsurprisingly, criticize it for being an SJW game, and it's hard to tell whether others are just being more coy or genuinely don't like it. What's strange, though, is that there are so many user reviews already, despite the game only being available to the general public today. The game is roughly 30 hours long, yet these reviews went up incredibly quickly, which makes it easy to assume that these complaints come from people who likely haven't finished or even started the game. Of course, a lot of the reviews are coming from people that haven't even started the game. People are genuinely upset about the situation, about how Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann have acted, about the story in general. They're watching their favorite streamers, they're watching their favorite content creators play the game, and they are disappointed with what they are seeing. Continuing on though, review bombing isn't a new thing and is a tactic used to try and make a game seem worse than it is to hurt its sales. That is not always the case. Some people that are review bombing the game and giving it 0 out of 10s genuinely think that the game deserves a 0 out of 10. Another access media outlet just trying to push, well, it doesn't agree with our opinion, meaning it must be wrong and it must be trolls doing it. But the icing on the cake here is the fact that The Last of Us 2 stars are now blaming bots for their negative reviews. With The Last of Us Part 2 finally releasing to the public, fans and critics alike seem to be at odds regarding the game's reception with polar opposite scores. Now, two major stars of the game, Laura Bailey and Shannon Woodward, are blaming the negativity on bots. The Last of Us Part 2 has been receiving universal acclaim from the standard games media, with multiple perfect scores and overwhelming praise, earning it a 95 meta score on Metacritic. However, the same cannot be said for user reviews, where the tone is completely different. The game sits at an abysmal 3.4 rating with over twice as many negative ratings than positive ones. I just wanted to point out that two of the largest video game websites, Kotaku and Polygon, which are left-leaning, disliked the game, yet these writers on Dextero here are claiming that it was universally loved by critics. Did they just forget about Kotaku and Polygon, or does their opinion not matter anymore? Taking to Twitter, Shannon Woodward, who voiced and did the motion capture for the character Dina, wrote that there were a lot of very upset bots afoot today. That's what she said, a lot of very upset bots afoot today. And of course, Laura Bailey, who voices the game's antagonist, Abby, in a since-deleted tweet said, all of the bots. Seriously? Can't we come up with something better? Can't you just respect the fans that may actually dislike the story direction that Naughty Dog went in? From there, Woodward further insinuated that bots were responsible for negative reviews of the game by claiming that bot farms were fully activated. I mean, this is, as the article says, the same thing that happened with Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi, which faced a similar situation to The Last of Us Part 2. With The Last Jedi, it was received well by critics but panned by fans, eventually leading to some blaming the scathing reviews on Russian bots and trolls. I mean, seriously, can't you just respect fans that are purchasing this game? Because there are still plenty of people purchasing it. There are people that are going to genuinely dislike this product, and I think that it is perfectly fine to voice your opinions. If you genuinely dislike this game, I think that that's fine. Everyone is going to have different opinions, but that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. If you enjoyed it and found it important, please make sure to give it a like and share it, and of course if you did not, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.